Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 products that I was really looking forward to trying out that I felt really spoke to me, and then they let me down. I think when it comes to makeup, you can get sucked in so easily because a lot of the verbiage and the wording that makeup companies use to really just suck you right in. For me, those words are normally hydrating, glowy, glossy, skin-like, and natural looking. If any of those 5 words are in the description of a makeup product, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? You're coming home with me. Nobody likes to be let down by a makeup product, so I'm gonna be going through the 5 products that just really didn't give it to me like how I wanted it to be given to me. That was a sentence, wow. Oh my God. So without further ado, let's get into these 5 products. So the very first product that I have here is probably the product that I am most disappointed by because I was most excited for this product. When I heard that Bite was coming out with cream liquid blushes, oh, I was so excited. So the very first thing that I was really surprised by was the sheer size of this blush, or should I say the lack of size of this blush. It is so small. The product is basically only in this little portion at the bottom right over here, and there is 0.33 fluid ounces or 10 milliliters of product in here, and this is about $45 Canadian. Because you don't really get a ton of product in here, you want to be sure that every single little ounce of product that you squeeze out and put on your face is going on your face. And the problem with this packaging is that it's a squeezy tube packaging. It is really difficult to get a controlled amount of product out onto the back of your hand or your brush or however you're going to go in to apply this. And so oftentimes I found that I was squeezing out too much product, and so I was just wasting excess product that I didn't actually need, and there's no way of getting this back in here. You can't like slurp it back in. Doesn't work like that. So that product just ends up going to waste. So this is a cream blush, but it does dry down to almost like a powdery finish. And it has honestly the strangest texture when you start to rub it into your cheeks. It almost feels like it's becoming wet. It's somewhat cooling. It's so hard to explain unless you're actually feeling it, but it's this really strange, almost gel-like consistency that it turns into, and then it goes into that powdery finish. But I find because it's kind of this odd texture, I don't find that it applies really nicely to the cheeks. I've experienced a lot of patchiness with this product, and not only that, but I find that it actually lifts my foundation off of my cheeks. And I've tried this in so many different ways on top of so many different foundations, and I still have that same issue. There's just a lot of unevenness when it comes to applying this product. On top of that, I really was just not a fan of the finish of the product either. So this one in particular is in the shade Melon Mojito. And it's kind of like this peachy color, and it has some shimmer in it. And at first glance, I'm like, oh, this color is really up my alley. But then when I actually look at it on the skin, it has kind of this like odd chunkiness to it, where it doesn't have like chunky glitter per se, but there is definitely a very visible shimmer. And I find because of that glitter, it sits very unnaturally on the skin. With all of those reasons combined, this product just was not for me, and it just really, it didn't work. So yeah, there's just a couple brands that it really hurts my feelings when I don't like their products because I'm such a big fan of their entire line, but hey, you can't win them all. Can't win them all. And the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix Eye Brightener just wasn't for me. Again, expectations were really, really high for this product, especially after the home run of the Eavesdrop foundation, which has quickly become one of my favorite foundations. So this released right after the Eavesdrop, and I thought that this would be the perfect concealer to complement a more natural looking skin-like finish foundation like the Eavesdrop. And please keep in mind that I'm somebody who really enjoys more light coverage concealers. But with that being said, if I am going to be applying a concealer, even if it is light coverage, I still wanted to do something, because if it's not doing anything, I don't want to apply anything at all at that point. So this product is very light coverage to the point where it really doesn't even have much coverage to it at all, but it does somewhat brighten up the under eyes. So it kind of adds this veil of color on the eyes, but it doesn't actually cover up your dark circles. This is something that's more of a personal preference thing. If you are looking for a product that helps you achieve that, just kind of brightness without really covering anything underneath your eyes, like covering any dark circles, then you may actually really like this. But for me, I just don't like the look of a brighter under eye without covering even a little bit of my dark circles, because I find that it just almost makes my under eyes look worse. And I would just rather go in with a true light coverage concealer that does have some coverage to actually brighten up my under eyes and conceal them at the same time. So especially after coming off the high of the Fenty Eavesdrop, I just expected more from this. It didn't really give me really anything, and that's why this was a big disappointment for me, and that's why I just don't really like this, and I haven't been reaching for it after playing with it for a couple days. It's just kind of been sitting in my drawer just staring back at me, just making me feel sad. Another product that really just didn't give me anything, it's almost like I didn't even apply anything to my skin, is this Nars Illuminator. I was really excited about this because I love glossy illuminators. I love a glow that gives me this effect right over here. What I'm wearing right now is a product that I definitely am not disappointed by. It's the Lisa Eldridge Subtle Glow Highlighter, and it's freaking gorgeous. And this product gave me the feeling that it would give me a similar effect. I was also excited about this because it did have a very interesting tone to it. When you squeeze it out, it's almost like this dark pink color, and I thought that it would give me a really interesting, almost glossy pink highlighter, and I don't have anything like that in my collection, so that got me even more excited. But then as I started to blend this into my cheeks, I realized that this was really not what I expected it would be. So here's what it actually looks like blended out on the skin. Can you see it? Probably not, because it barely shows up. Where's that pink sheen, you may ask? I don't know. It's gone. There's no pink sheen anywhere. So what made this product interesting to me, which was that pink sheen paired with that glossy texture, it doesn't even show up when it's actually blended out onto the skin, which is kind of shitty. So you see the really, really subtle glow that I have on my hand. It's nice. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally fine. But it's also nothing out of the ordinary. I have like so many other products that can give me this type of glow. And so I just feel like this renders this product somewhat useless in my collection. And on top of that, you don't really get a ton of product in here. It is quite a small little tube. There's 50 milliliters of product. And I just feel like there are other glossy, glowy highlighters that will give you this right here. So it gives you that gloss, but it gives you that little bit of extra boost as well, which I think is very needed for a highlighter. I think a lot of brands are really jumping on like the more natural makeup train, which I'm so happy about because that really is my preferred makeup aesthetic and my preferred types of makeup products as well. But I think a lot of brands sometimes miss the mark because I feel like a lot of brands don't realize that a product can look natural, but it can still give you a little bit of pop, a little bit of something. Otherwise, there's just no point of applying it in the first place. And I think this highlighter that I'm wearing right now is a perfect example because it's natural, it's glossy, it's glowy. There's definitely a pop there, you know, and it adds something to my makeup. This wouldn't add anything to my makeup. And that's why I'm so upset. Throws it across the room. Kidding. Not that dramatic. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Tinted Love stain. So this is a stain and you can use it on your cheeks and on your lips. I really do like stains, especially in the summertime. They're really nice because they will last the entire day no matter how sweaty you get. I feel like there's a real theme running throughout this video because the problem that I have with this stain, again, is that it barely even shows up on the face. It is so sheer that you have to build up layers and layers and layers in order for you to get a pop to your cheeks. And that's totally fine with me. Normally when it comes to a blush, I do like sheer formulas because I find that they're easier to control, but they have to be buildable to at least give me that option to get that pop on my cheeks if I want it. This I find is just not buildable, so it's really, really difficult to get like any type of intense color on the cheeks or even somewhat intense color on the cheeks. And so you just applying, and nothing's really happening, and it just ends up being kind of like a patchy, uneven mess by the end of it. You'll see in the product shot that I do that when I apply it, it kind of just disappears into the skin. Like there's not really anything there. And again, just really disappointing. Really the only good thing about this formula is that it's not as drying as a typical stain is. It does have kind of this gel consistency that gives you this like hydrated feel to the skin. That's all I gotta say about that. And that's why it disappointed me. So the very last product that I want to talk about is a foundation. Now this is actually the foundation that Julia Adams bought me in our Sephora shop with me video where we shopped a full face of makeup together, and I don't want her to feel bad that I didn't end up liking this foundation. It's definitely not her fault. She just picked it up because it sounded really good. And honestly, that's part of the reason why I'm so disappointed, because this does sound like the most magical foundation. Let me just read this to you, okay? So just keep in mind, if you didn't know, I have dry skin. A long-wearing formula infused with kombucha filtrate and maracula oil for 30% more hydrated skin, medium coverage, and a glowing finish. It sounds like it is beyond up my alley. So when I first used this in the video with Julia, I really love this because when you first apply this foundation, it looks fantastic. It kind of looks exactly how you would expect it to look. It gives you that medium coverage. Your skin is really nice and healthy looking and glowy. The problem with this foundation is that as you wear it, at least this is what happened with my skin, beyond like the first 3 hours of wearing this, it started to almost like break up on my skin, and especially around like my mouth and nose area, it just like started to separate. And it became so cakey looking, and it also looked so glowy, like to the point where I looked beyond oily. It was really disappointing because again, when I first applied this for the first couple hours, it looks really, really, really nice. And so I just wish that it stayed looking like that throughout the entire wear time of this foundation, but instead it decided to just be like, just kidding. Now, unlike the other products in here, I am not giving up on this just yet. All the other ones, I feel like I've kind of given up on them already, but with this guy, I'm still gonna try and make it work because there's so much potential in it. I feel like I could figure it out by either mixing it maybe with other foundations to get a really beautiful concoction. There's just good things about this that I really feel like would thrive, perhaps mixed in with maybe more of a matte foundation to kind of balance things out. I don't know. But let me know in the comments if you guys have tried this and what your thoughts are on this. All right, guys, that is it. Those are the 5 products that have definitely very much disappointed me, in case you didn't know. And if I didn't say that enough, I hope that you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on all the products I spoke about today. If you've tried them, have you had a similar experience, or do you feel the complete opposite? That's okay too. Let me know in the comments. I would love to get your thoughts. And I think it's always helpful for people who are going through the comments just to get a bunch of different reviews. Our community is honestly so great in that it always stays so respectful and wonderful and lovely. Even if we have conflicting opinions on products or whatever it may be, it's always a wonderful place just to kind of check out what everybody's thinking. And so definitely feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. It is definitely a safe space to do so. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy today's video as well, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already and want to join the fam. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.